Do you really know this man? Well, yes you do. You know it's ZUHDI JASSER. You've seen him on Fox News. You know he's a Muslim, but he has a great American story that everyone should hear. So here you go. Take a look.
I'm currently a physician in private practice in Phoenix, Arizona, in the specialty of internal medicine and nuclear cardiology. I came to Phoenix, Arizona in 1999 after serving for 11 years in the U.S. Navy. I was on a Navy scholarship through medical school and grew up in Wisconsin. Went to medical school at the Medical College of Wisconsin. I grew up in a small town in Neenah, Wisconsin, about 40 miles south of Green Bay. My parents actually came to the U.S. in 1967, and I was born a few months after they got here. After my father finished his training at Tulane University in cardiology, he ended up going into private practice in Wisconsin in cardiology. As a kid in Neenah, I was an avid football fan. Green Bay Packers were one of the central parts of my life. I collected football cards. I still have about 6,000 of those football cards. Made sure I had almost every card I could. I remember I was proud to have John Brockington's rookie card, Walter Payton's rookie card. I loved listening to U2 and Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel, Phil Collins, Genesis. Those were the groups that I grew up listening to. The sports, I used to love playing tennis. I was on the high school tennis team. I also did karate, taekwondo for 7 years, ultimately getting a first-degree black belt in taekwondo. So most of my sports time was spent in martial arts through through senior year of high school.
So don't mess with you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. One of the things that I did that was a big part of who I am was newspaper writing, and I was the editor of the high school newspaper in Neenah, Wisconsin. And actually, it's interesting, my high school just called me a week ago, and they are having they started a Hall of Fame for graduates, and I'm going out. This is the second year they're doing this, and I'm going out to speak to the assembly and talk to the students about what life is like after Neenah High School as one of their Hall of Fame graduates. So that was fascinating and quite humbling. They ultimately taught me that I could be more Muslim, more free to have a personal relationship with God and with my faith in America than I could in any so-called Muslim country and Muslim majority country. And I think their story is very much what defined me, in that my father's family, for example, and his father, ZUHDI JASSER, had escaped Syria and were political refugees from Syria in 1966. My parents escaped through Lebanon and then came to the U.S., and after 3 months were able to get asylum here, and really felt American the moment they got here. Not only appreciate the freedoms that we have, but give back to this country, and that was the reason I ultimately decided to marry my lifetime goals of wanting to be a physician and wanting to serve in the military. So I did both through the Health Profession Scholarship Program, and was ultimately accepted to medical school at the Medical College of Wisconsin, and I did a 4-year Navy scholarship. I served 11 years, did my training at Bethesda Naval Hospital in Washington. I did serve a year on the USS El Paso before the Clinton administration decommissioned it, and half of the Navy at the time. But we went to Operation Restore Hope in Somalia. I joined the ship on its way back from there, and I then returned to Bethesda Naval to serve as their chief resident. And also then my last billet was as a physician to Congress, which was just an unbelievable experience, in that there are 3 physicians in Congress. 2 of us worked for Admiral John Isehold, who was the attending physician to Congress, and we took care of all of the members of Congress in the Senate and the House, and also the 9 Supreme Court justices. So I was able to take care of Justice Scalia, Thomas, Sandra Day O'Connor, and others. I have to tell you that serving as a physician to Congress, I had wished my grandfather was alive to see that, just because as Syrian refugees in the late 60s, they had seen America as the beacon of freedom, the city on the hill, and to be a physician in the halls of Congress was just an unbelievable experience.
Now let's meet Courtney Lonergan. She's a Muslim reformer who works with Dr. Jasser. Watch.
Hi, my name is Courtney Lonergan. I'm an applied cultural anthropologist, and I'm a grassroots community organizer. I was born and raised in Alaska, and I'm also a Muslim. I met ZUHDI JASSER after, it was after 9/11, and it was when they were looking for a facilitator for their Muslim Liberty Project retreat. And one of my colleagues at ASU recommended me. She's like, yeah, Courtney's a great community organizer, but she's also Muslim. And so I felt like it was a beautiful fit. And I realized going through notes from the past that there were several people who had said, do you know who ZUHDI JASSER is? You need to meet him. And I was like, no, I don't know who he is. And it ends up, I live just down the street from where his office is. So when we met, it was definitely meant to be. It's a great merging. I've got the skills to bring the people together, and he definitely has a background on what a lot of the key issues are. Just recently, we met in Washington, D.C., and we had 15 Muslim leaders from Europe, from North America, primarily from the United States and Canada, and folks that had traveled to the Middle East and Africa. And these were Muslim leaders, scholars, and imams who said, we need to come up with a solution. We know that there's this extreme politicalized ideology that is being pushed as Islam, and we know that we are a part of the solution. And so we created the Muslim Reform Movement. And what's behind the Muslim Reform Movement is a declaration that's based on three overarching principles to really start the dialogue with Muslims and our neighbors on the change that needs to happen within Muslim communities. First, it's around democratic, secular governance. The second one is around freedom of speech and freedom to offend. And the third is around basic human rights. A key piece of our declaration that got spread, we started a Facebook just the Friday after we held our conference. And within a week, we had 100,000 hits on Facebook. A young person in England set up a Facebook site for us for free. And at the top, he said, ideas don't have rights. Human beings have rights. So this has been an amazing movement that has gained a lot of ground over just a couple of months. And it was really ZUHDI JASSER's idea, his persistence, to bring together all of these key leaders and to have this authentic dialogue to help move us forward. I'm very proud to work with ZUHDI JASSER. He's a true American hero. I enjoy having Thanksgiving with his family, and I'm excited. He also has 3 children, and I do too. I'm excited for our children to grow up together.
Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got lots of great videos out there, so take a look.